Honorable Minister of Human Rights and Public Freedoms of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, Coulibaly Mamadou, the Honorable Members of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, Honorable Members of the Government of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, the Mayor of Yamoussoukro, distinguished representatives of national human rights institutions and non-governmental organizations, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me, Honorable Minister, on this auspicious occasion of the closing ceremony of the 52nd Ordinary Session, to take this opportunity on behalf of members and staff of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights to express our profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, Mr. Alassane Ouattara, and the state for hosting the 52nd Ordinary Session of the African Commission, which also marked the 25th anniversary of the African Commission, and which today has come to an end. Many of us will confirm that we were overwhelmed by the hospitality extended to not only members of the African Commission, but to state delegates and participants from across the continent. The perceived challenge of traveling from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro was quickly dispersed by the perfect arrangement put in place to transport participants from Abidjan to Yamoussoukro without a hitch. For this, we remain immensely grateful. Honorable Minister, distinguished delegates, participants, ladies and gentlemen, when we started this session 2 weeks ago, I invited you all to walk down the memory lane, tracing the history, challenges, and achievements of the founding and achievements of the African Commission over 25 years. And I posed a question whether the vision of the founding fathers in adopting the African Charter and establishing the African Commission has been met in any material degree in the last 25 years. The last 2 weeks provided the opportunity to discuss the many gaps within the African human rights system within the Commission, which were identified in the colloquium and the ensuing debates on the Commission's subsidiary mechanism. Many practical and useful recommendations were made by experts and participants to capture the vision of the founding fathers. Foremost is the sustenance of the objective of putting the observation of human rights where it belongs, that is, at the forefront of the list of priorities for continents. In that regard, the colloquium recommended that if the Commission were to be true to our visionary leaders, then its views must be continually heard. It must seek to create a space for dialogue with the leading policy organs of the AU and operationalize the mechanisms for the follow-up of decisions. State parties to the Charter must muster not only political will to implement the recommendations of the Commission, but such recommendations must be considered legally binding. In terms of some recent developments in the human rights landscape in the continent, participants rallied against the death penalty in Africa, and some of the recommendations that came out urged governments to continue to observe a moratorium while considering the abolition of death penalty. And this is a crucial matter for which we commend the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire for having abolished death penalty in its constitution, but we urge that the penal code needs to be harmonized to reflect the abolition. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there can be no doubt, as I suggested in my opening address, that the Commission has made much progress in the recent years in the development of international human rights law and standard. As we commemorate the 25 years of the Commission, we must not forget that the crises in northern Mali and Guinea-Bissau continue. In the Gambia, 9 inmates were executed against worldwide outcry for clemency. In South Africa, the unfortunate events in the Lomin Marikana mines was a blow to human rights. In Nigeria, Kenya, and Somalia, the numerous terrorist attacks have continued to deny many of their human rights. And the Great Lakes region still ring alarm bells across the continent. We continue, unfortunately, to receive reports of numerous other human rights violations, ranging from unduly long pretrial detention, the situation of vulnerable groups, including inmates with HIV and AIDS, and disabled persons, and acts of violence against women and children. The list can go on. These challenges are a testimony to a fact that there is a great deal of work which remains to be done before the human and people's rights are fully realized in the continent. These challenges ought to be addressed with responses guided by respect of the rights of every individual, community, and people, and in particular, the marginalized and vulnerable groups. As the 52nd Ordinary Session of the African Commission comes to an end, I reflect on the strength of the session. I reflect that the strength of the session is found in the quality of its participants. 548 participants, made up of 27 state parties, 334 NGOs and international government organizations, came from across the continent to Yamoussoukro to attend the 52nd Ordinary Session. All brave the challenge to be here, to support the collective desire to see Africa achieve respect for human rights for all. The resolve respect not just the commitment to serve the need of most disadvantaged members of our continent, but also a determination to carry on despite the difficult terrain in which we operate. For this 25th anniversary, all came to reaffirm a commitment to continue the struggle against injustice, despite inequality, discrimination, and impunity. The struggle against lack of development and human security and other ills affecting our people. I therefore wish to say a big thank you to all participants who have attended this session and have made meaningful contribution towards moving the human rights situation in the country to a positive level. Honorable Minister, distinguished delegates, participants, let me at this juncture take the opportunity to congratulate the Ugandan Human Rights Commission and the Center for Human Rights at the University of Pretoria for winning the top prizes in what will hopefully become the African Commission's annual Human Rights Awards. I would also like to recognize the University of Abidjan for winning the moot court debate, and also to congratulate our own Commissioner Pacific Manirakiza, who came a respectable third position in the 5-kilometer human rights road race. Allow me to pay tribute to my fellow commissioners for the important contributions they have made during this 2-week period. I am very proud to identify the passion with which the debates have gone on. And I know that the passion moves human rights situation. I would therefore like to express my gratitude to my esteemed colleagues The insights and diverse perspective displayed have steered the session to a successful end. Let me also thank the staff of the Secretariat and the technical team, both the translators and the interpreters, and all the support staffs, including the drivers, for the important contribution they have made during this 2-week period. Their contribution to the successful conclusion of this session cannot be overestimated. I, however, want to reserve some special gratitude to the staff of the Ministry of Human Rights and Personal Liberty of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, who worked tirelessly and contributed in no small measure towards the outstanding success of this session. One name in particular must be mentioned. That is the energetic and amiable Dr. Andre Kamate, whose amazing organization skill has made this session a resounding success. Dr. Kamate, we say thank you very much. I saved the best for the last, and I therefore wish at this point to express the Commission's profound gratitude and my personal gratitude to the Minister of Human Rights and Personal Liberty, Mr. Mamadou Nemena Koulibaly, who has demonstrated exceptional commitment to the cause of human rights, displayed before us here in diverse means, in his participation, in his quest to ensure that all goes well. I dare say that this session will not be closing on a sound ground if he did not display such exceptional quality. So we thank you very much.